They say work hard and you'll get ahead, but I'm just breaking my back instead. Clocking in just to pay that rent. Ain't much left when the day is spent. Boss man talking about living the dream that's built on my routine. They raise the price, we keep the pace, running in place just to stay in the race. We built this town with our two hands, blood in the dirt, sweat in the sand. They make the rules, we make it stand. Yeah, this land runs on the working man. Bills stack high, paychecks thin, round and around that wheel we spin. They fly first class, we drive beat trucks, still showing up when the world gets rough. We built this town with our two hands, blood in the dirt, sweat in the sand. They make the rules, we make it stand. Yeah, this land runs on the working man. That keeps this spinning round. One more day, we'll take that stand. You can't buy soul from the working man. We built this town with our two hands, blood in the dirt, sweat in the sand. They make the rules, we make it stand. Yeah, this land runs on the working man. We built this town with our two hands, blood in the dirt, sweat in the sand. They make the rules, we make it stand. Yeah, this land runs on the working man. Train wreck with the lights called long neck. I was searching, I've been hurt real bad. Moving on, getting sidetracked. One step forward and five back. Not your fault, I was scared to fall. And I don't know why you saw something in me. Put your wings around me, girl. You went out of your way to fix what you didn't break. You were the star in the pitch black, shine the way on the way back. Out of nowhere, answered all my prayers. Picked up the towel that I threw in, took in a heart that was ruined.
someone else's arms. It would break my heart, but I try to be happy, knowing that you're happy. But why would I even try to hide what I feel inside? Girl, when you look at me, I think I go crazy. Nothing could save me. Thinking you hate me would break me in two. Baby, I don't wanna know what alone looks like. Staring at my phone in the middle of the night in a king-size bed, baby, cold as ice. I don't wanna know what alone looks like. I don't know how to live without you being anything but mine. I'd be a wreck if you said goodbye. I don't wanna know what alone looks like. If I found out you hit a knee with a diamond ring, give you everything, and you just erase me, I think I'd go crazy. Nothing can save me. Thinking you hate me would break me in two. Yeah, I don't wanna know what alone looks like. Staring at my phone in the middle of the night in a king-size bed, baby, cold as ice. I don't wanna know what alone looks like. I don't know how to live without you being anything but mine. I'd be a wreck if you said goodbye. I don't wanna know what alone looks like. Baby, I don't wanna know what alone looks like. Staring at my phone in the middle of the night in a king-size bed, baby, cold as ice. I don't wanna know what alone looks like. I don't know how to live without you being anything but mine. I'd be a wreck if you said goodbye. I don't wanna know what alone looks like. Underneath the neon moon, boots on dusty ground, whiskey whispers in the air, stars are spinning around. A six-string strums, the fire burns, shadows start to dance. This ain't just a bar tonight, it's a second chance. Clap your hands, stomp your feet, feel that rhythm, catch the beat. Rodeo lights, they're shining bright. We're gonna party till the morning light. Raise your hands, shout it loud. We're the wild ones in the crowd. Rodeo life, oh, take us high. This ain't just a song, it's our battle cry. Snap, the fiddle hums, hearts begin to race. The bass drops in and every soul is lost in this embrace. Cowboy hats and glitter glow, a fusion of two worlds. Country roots with EDM, let that flag unfurl. Clap your hands, stomp your feet, feel that rhythm, catch the beat. Rodeo lights, they're shining bright.
way high. Got that neon glow in your country eyes. You move slow, then you jump on time when the kick drum meets that whiskey line. Stop once, clap twice, hey, feel that rolling dice. Are you ready for the ride tonight? Are you ready for the ride tonight? Let's go, go, go! Boots on the bass, hey, hands in the sky, hey. We don't come down, we only get high. On the bass, hey. Floor on fire, hey. Country energy in a festival wide. So boots on the bass, oh yeah, boots on the bass, oh yeah, boots on the bass. Turn it up, don't stop, yeah. Little dirt on my shirt, but I feel brand new. Got that long neck shine, going shot for shot with you. You say one more song, I say one more drop. When the synths come in, all the hurt just stops. Just stop, just stop. Stomp once, clap twice, hey. Spin you like the lights. Are you ready for the ride tonight? Are you ready for the ride tonight? Come on! Boots on the bass, hey. Hands in the sky, hey. We don't come down, we only get high. So high. Boots on the bass, hey. Floor on fire, hey. Country energy in a festival wide. So boots on the bass, ooh yeah. Boots on the bass, ooh yeah. Boots on the bass, turn it up, don't stop. Oh, we're shouting, oh, no doubting. Oh, from the bar.
Hello everybody, I am just going to do a quick sound check, please just bear with me, a few technical issues. Okay, it sounds good. So we are live here for the season finale in MSC for Le Mans Ultimate. And we have a cracking race on our hands. 15 drivers on the grid and still a championship battle between 3 of the drivers. One of them being Dan Wibberley. Noah Burkhoff is the other competitor. And Michael Simek is the third of them competitors challenging for this championship. Qualifying has 12.5 minutes remaining. No driver is currently on a flying lap. We are going to see some of the drivers coming through here in Spa Francorchamps. You've got driver number 2, Noah Burkhoff, who is about to start his flying lap as he comes out of the bus stop chicane in that AMG down towards the line. And he will be the first of the runners here to get going as we head down in towards La Source at turn 1 with this Mercedes as he just eases off the throttle, hugs the apex to the right hand side, back onto it, and then it is pedal down all the way to the bottom of Eau Rouge. Okie dokie, so down in towards Eau Rouge for the Mercedes, and then up the hill. The elevations around Belgium are incredible as he rides that curve really well. The number 666 car, it is unlucky for some, not for him, as he is bidding to win this championship here in season 1 as we go down in towards Les Combes into the right hander as we ride on board with Noah Burkhoff. As the rain is falling here, so the conditions very much Spa orientated as we are seeing the wet weather conditions in qualifying with 11 minutes to go, and you can see Noah Burkhoff just trying to control that car. Look at that, you can see it's definitely trickier in these conditions to keep hold of that Mercedes. But he has set a 39.8 through sector 1. The closest to him is Robert McCoy with a 39.4 in that Corvette. He's got that Mustang in front of him. He's coming into a lot of traffic, which will hinder him. You've got that Mustang, then you've got Jack Moore, who's set a 39.7 through sector 1. And Robert McCoy is going to be hindered as he has a huge snap coming out of Brussels at turn 10. But Noah Burkhoff in towards the double right-hander as we head in towards Kerber Paul Frere for that green and white Mercedes AMG. The 666 car is a 105.8 through sector 2 as he heads in towards Blanchemont for Noah Burkhoff. In the rain, it's a 106.3 for Kyle Cullen in the M4. As he just keeps control of that. 105.5 for Michael Simek in that Ferrari. But it is Noah Burkhoff through the bus stop chicane and down towards the checkered flag we go. Runs a little bit wide and he will set the benchmark here in Spa to the line, and it's a 2:26.9 for Noah Burkhoff. Kyle Cullen will be next in that M4 as he comes out of the bus stop chicane and down towards the line, and Kyle Cullen will follow him through with a 2:26.0. It is provisional pole for Kyle Cullen. Michael Simek goes P2, but in front of his championship rival with a 1:26.3. Only 9/10 separating the top 3 at the start of qualifying. Then Mark Robinson comes through at 2:32. Robert McCoy at 2:33. Kieran White at 2:41. Then we have Jack Moore in the other AMG. He goes up to P4 for Jack Moore at 2:29.8. And then George Kay through the bus stop chicane in that McLaren. Very McLaren themed as well. As we come down towards the line with just under 9 minutes to go. And the McLaren of George Kay will go P5 with a 2:30.1. Carl Domingo is now on a lap in that M4. And he's just coming out of the bus stop chicane as well. But I didn't get a sector 2 time from Carl Domingo. And to the checkered flag, Cal Domingo goes P4, a 2:28.8 for him. What about TVRT? Coming through turn 10. As we ride on board, you can see the trees just getting in the way. A lot of traffic on the track at the moment. 16 drivers. David Self just on a lap in that Lamborghini. Jonathan Curran in that gold Porsche with the MSC themed livery. As he will get going, Ryan Matum is still in the pit lane. So David Silf, as we head down in towards Pujon for the Lamborghini driver, a great view as we come through there. Just is that the Lamborghini? Yes, it is. Sorry, my apologies. So you can see as we head in towards turn 11, it's such a beautiful car. It looks aggressive. It looks fierce. And you know when you're running that low down, it looks angry, and I can imagine David Silf will be riding it very aggressively as we come through Kerber Paul Frere, and then it is pedal to the metal now. As he tracks down towards Blanchimont and he's weaving left and right, so that is it. He's not actually on the track. So David Silf brought TVRT into the bus stop chicane in that Lexus. Currently in P13. But he's now going to get a lap on the board. Towards the checkered flag we go. And TVRT goes P7 of 2:28.8 for TVRT. I do apologise as well, the overlays are still not working, which is really frustrating why they're not working, to be honest. Even if you go onto the website and try and get them off there, they just do not work. I'm wondering if I clear cookies. And then try and bring that back up. See if that works. That's the only thing I can try now. No, still doesn't work, unfortunately, and I don't know why. Since the update, the overlay just doesn't work. It's a real shame, but here we are. So we do have Jonathan Curran in the Porsche coming down in towards the line, and he goes P11. It's a 2:29.9. It is very competitive out on track. John McConville is currently fastest through Sector 1 of the runners that are on track at the moment. Him, Steph Hans and David Silf. He is the quickest through Sector 1 in that McLaren. This is where he can really get a lap on the board. Guys, oh, and the McLaren up Eau Rouge smashes into the barriers, and a driver just avoided that one, and that was a huge collision. Oh, what is going on here? Yeah, that was a huge collision from John McConville. David Silf as well back into the pit lane, and Steph Hans. Kieran White TVRT in that Lexus. That was very sketchy there. Really sketchy from the drivers. Could have been an even worse collision. So Dan Wibblett currently on provisional pole with 3 minutes to go. Kyle Cullen in P2 and Mikhail Simek in P3. Noah Burkoff fighting for the championship currently in P4, and he's on a lap but he's way down. Then Kyle Domingo, TVRT, just going to go for another lap, but it is still raining. Is the conditions getting worse and they're not going to be able to improve? So Jack Moore in the pit lane as well. Jonathan Curran on the track. So is Jord Kay. John McConville after that big crash. David Silf is on his way out for his final run. Stefans is in the pit lane and Ryan Matum also in the pits. So the number 3 car of Mikhail Simek will be the first of the final runners to set a qualifying lap here in Belgium. And this will be it. Can he do enough to take pole position away from Dan Wibblett? We will find out in the very near future. So, Mikhail Simek into the pit lane with 1.5 minutes to go, so he's not going to go for another lap. What about Jonathan Curran? He's coming through Blanchimont. Have the drivers given up? The rain continuing to batter the surface of this circuit, and maybe the drivers are under the impression that there is no improvement out there now, but Jonathan Curran is gonna go again. He's gonna try to improve. David Silf also in that Lamborghini is out, and the number 4 car of Noah Burkoff fighting for the championship. Jonathan Curran, we'll see if he can improve as he comes out of La Source at turn 1. Back onto the throttle for the Porsche driver. He's already a 1/10.5 down as he proceeds towards Eau Rouge, and then he'll go up the hill. We've seen a huge mistake from John McConville just earlier. He doesn't make that same mistake, but he is now 3 tenths down, is the Dutchman, as we head down the Kemmel Straight. 30 seconds of this qualifying remaining. It is only Jonathan Curran on track, but it does not look like he's going to find this improvement that he was hoping for. Yes, nearly a second down is Jonathan Curran, so that is it. It looks like it is going to be Dan Wibblett who will take pole position here in Belgium for the championship finale here in Season 1, Round 6 here at MSC. Jonathan Curran just going to get the practice in now. In the rain, you can see the conditions becoming quite unreasonable for the drivers as he runs a little bit wide there, and he just stops on track and back into the pit lane. And you've got David Silf as well in that Lamborghini. He has set a lap at 2:31.6. I'm not sure he'll get anywhere close to that as he comes out of turn 10 in towards the corner with no name. Lamborghini driver just also getting a bit of practice in. All the other drivers will wait, and then we have 90 minutes of racing. So through the double right-hander and into Kerber Paul Frere. And he's actually only 1.5 tenths down on his best lap time, which is quite remarkable considering the conditions that he's now trying to set that lap time in. So we're heading down towards Blanchimont. Can he at least get some improvement? If he gets around half a second, he will go in front of John McConville. So who knows? Into the bus stop chicane, he loses it, and that is it. So all the drivers are back into the pits. So it is Dan Wibberley that takes pole position. It is Kyle Cullen in P2.
For a race start.
Michael Simek in P3 and Noah Burkhoff in P4. They all line up on the grid now. Just grabbing a drink before the racing begins. Here we go.
Formation lap has started.
So the drivers will do a short run up to the line. They will get these tyres ready, the engines ready. Cullen in P2, Dan Wibberley. Oh, it's Dan Wibberley. He's using the same car, it looks like, as Jonathan Curran. Was that right? It might just be a little bit messed up here. So they do a short run up towards the bus stop chicane. The driver's giving it a little bit of weaving, but Noah Burkhoff is having none of that as he gets ready to go racing straight away. Here we go. And Dan Wibberley will be the driver that sets the pace to the line. Into the bus stop chicane, goes wide. And we are about to go green here in Spa Francorchamps. A slow run up down the pit lane.
Green flag.
And it is green flag, and we go racing here in the championship finale here at MSC. It is Dan Wibberley in towards the source. Here comes Kyle Cullen around the outside. That is Michael Simek up the inside of Noah Burkhoff. There's been a collision behind. And that's a Lamborghini off the track that's just squeezing Cal Domingo, I think that is. You've got the M4 just filtering through the middle of both of them. Is that George K? It is George K. Up Eau Rouge they go. They do navigate around each other. Kyle Cullen is still fighting with Dan Wibbley as we come down the Kemmel Straight. Wheel to wheel, Kyle Cullen is just slightly behind. Does he have the straight line speed? He switches to the inside of Les Combs, but he cannot get alongside, and he has to back out into P2. Here comes Noah Burkhoff. He's already up into the podium places, fighting for that championship and through on his championship rival of Mikhail Simek, who's going to try and come back. Here we go. Is that Noah Burkhoff? It is Noah Burkhoff, trying to look for a move on Kyle Cullen in the M4 as we come through Brussels and in towards turn 11. All over the rear wing of that BMW in front. Then you've got Robert McCoy in the McLaren and the red BMW of that M4 in front. And what about Kieran White holding on in that Ford Mustang? And here he comes up the inside, John McConville. He looked for the move, he thought about it, and he fought too long, and the opportunity had passed him by. Kyle Cullen is still here, Noah Burkhoff, Mikhail Simek in that Ferrari, all four of them starting to build a little bit of a gap to TVRT. Just behind them, who's got a front row seat to this fascinating and intriguing duel in front between the four competitors, three of them being in a championship fight. Here comes Kyle Cullen on the onboard, in towards Blanchimont. He's got to think about the car behind. He gets a great exit down in towards the bus stop chicane. Wheel to wheel once more. The Porsche driver goes late on the brakes, and now here comes Noah Burkhoff. Can he make a move and get up to P2? Out of the bus stop chicane, runs wide, takes a lot of that apex. As we head up towards La Source, Dan Wibbley creating a little bit of a gap. Here's John McConville again, side by side with Kieran White in towards turn 1. He's going to take the outer line. He's going to keep the pace. Around the outside he goes, and John McConville goes up to P6. The McLaren is through on the Ford Mustang. Now he's got to navigate up Eau Rouge. The move is complete. This is the tricky part though. Can he keep it as we head down the Kemmel Straight? Here comes Noah Burkhoff as well in the AMG, who is now pulling himself alongside that M4 as we head in towards Les Combs. The Mercedes driver later on the brakes, and Noah Burkhoff pulls it off and goes up to P2. Kyle Cullen will settle into that podium. What about Mikhail Simek? He is being put under pressure now by that Lexus behind. George K in the McLaren, having that Ferrari behind him and the Mustang in front of him. That is Ryan Maton, Steph Hans and Robert McCoy down in 14 and 15. Noah Burkhoff is now challenging for the lead of this Grand Prix. There is speckles of rain on the windscreen. And these drivers are going to start to struggle in the rain, especially on their medium compound tyres. If the rain starts to come down a little heavier, there doesn't seem to be any rain now. Maybe I was a little mistaken. So here comes George K through the right and left-hander. What about... Oh, Noah Burkhoff is through on Dan Wibbley for the lead of the Grand Prix out of Kerbapol, Frere down towards Blanchimont. And Noah Burkhoff is the race leader. Dan Wibbley settling back in for P2. And they have now got a little bit of a gap to Kyle Cullen and Mikhail Simek behind. TVRT as well in the Lexus. Still staying with them. Mikhail Simek running a little bit wide. And Kieran White on the back of John McConville. Then you've got Cal Domingo, Jack Moore, David Silf, all there. David Silf right involved in the battle at the back. The Lamborghini drivers head up towards La Source. Dan Wibbley is chasing down Noah Burkhoff as we come into Eau Rouge. Can he get the better entrance and exit the Porsche driver down the Kemmel Straight? He'll get that slipstream. Is it going to be enough to pull him alongside? It's a big ask. But he will absolutely try down the Kemmel Straight. What a view as we go on board with Dan Wibberley, and he is way too far back to try his chances. Here comes Mark Robinson though on David Silf. He moves left, he moves right. Wheel to wheel go the Mustang and the Lamborghini. And who is going to be the last of the late breakers? It is the Mustang, and the Lamborghini driver settles back into P10. And George Kay might even seize an opportunity whilst all of this is going on. Maybe even Ryan Matum as well. Kieran White and John McConville just settling down now. Noah Burkhoff is your leader. So George Kay still on the back of David Silf. Mark Robinson is running away a little bit here. I tell you what, George Kay and Ryan Maton will not be happy about David Silf holding them up. Mark Robinson already a second clear, and George Kay and Ryan Maton are all over the back of David Silf in that Lamborghini. His race pace is just not there yet. And here we go through Vernon Paul Frere and down towards Blanchmont. This might be the opportunity that George Kay was waiting for. He's going to have to send him the long way round here, David Silf, and that's what he's doing, defending masterfully as we come through Blanchmont and up towards the bus stop chicane. Once again, positioning that car so well is David. The race IQ is brilliant, and later on the brakes goes George Kay and up to P10. That was a very smooth overtake. He's now got 1.9 to catch up to Mark Robinson in front. Dan Wibberley still in P2, but the gap is certainly opening up now. The gap 4 seconds from the leader to P3. You can see him just in the distance behind. John McConville in 6 tenths behind Kyle Cullen. All 15 drivers still in this race. Stefan's just at the back at the minute, will continue to race. Jack Moore in that AMG still grouped up quite nicely, to be fair. Robert McCoy on Ryan Matum. Is he going to go for it? That was a cheeky move there. So John McConville 3 tenths to go from Luhom. And that M4, maybe looking after his tyres, preserving them a lot better than the other drivers. Dan Wibberley now out of this 1 second gap to Noah Burkhoff. So Noah finding that rhythm now, and Dan Wibberley not able to stay with him. Ryan Matum running wide on Robert McCoy. He was right on the back of him. There goes Robert McCoy on David Silf. The Lamborghini wheel to wheel through the bus stop chicane, leaves the space on the inside for the McLaren. They do touch. David stays in front, but for how long? As we come through the checkered flag and up towards La Source at turn 1. He will try again. Round 2 into turn 1. And the Corvette driver going really close to the apex. but it's the Lamborghini that gets the better exit. They do touch briefly as well. The Corvette has got the straight line speed. Now they've got up, but he just backs out as the Lamborghini driver is through and up the Rouge over the apex. It's beautiful. Down the Kemmel Straight into the slipstream goes Robert McCoy. This is where he's got to take his chances in towards Les Combs. He's got to go later on the brakes. That's what he does. And through goes Robert McCoy in the Corvette and up to P11. Kieran White is still there. He's starting to catch up to John as Kyle is holding up the pack now. Ryan Matum sees David in front. He's vulnerable and he will know that. He's going to have to pile on the pressure. Start to push him into a couple of mistakes. And Robert McCoy already picking up a second. Wow, he is flying now. He's been let off the reins. That's what he wanted. And he is getting it. And that is David Silf and Ryan Maton that are going wheel to wheel once again. That Lamborghini is just holding on for dear life at the moment. And we've only had 12 minutes of racing. And there he runs wide. And that Ferrari is getting rather impatient now. And the Lamborghini driver is into the gravel. This could be it. It's not through curb of Paul Frere. Once again, he will try as we go up towards Blanchimont. This could be it for Ryan Matum as he goes up to P12. But back comes David Silf. And Ryan backs out. David is through. And he's keeping this position really well. In towards the bus stop chicane we go. Kieran White in that Mustang is close enough on John McConville to maybe take an opportunity when it arises. TVRT in the Lexus down the Kemmel Straight. We've still got battling all over the circuit. It's a great watch. Here comes the Lexus on the Ferrari of Mikhail Simek. Mikhail just staying in front, fending off any sort of overtake. Same with John McConville. And Carl Domingo just in no man's land at the moment, the BMW driver. 3 seconds to the car in front and 8 to the car behind. So just stuck there. Here comes Jack Moore, who's starting to join this little battle. Maybe another one for David to think about. Not like he's had much to think about already. Right, huge chunk of that apex there. Really nicely done from David Silf. What about Kieran White? Just staying right there. Kyle Cullen qualified, in position. Now finding himself being drawn in from the drivers behind. And that was the Mustang that was Kieran White that just touched the gravel a little bit there. Ryan Matum is going to try again. Here he comes. And he's being very cautious. Maybe too cautious. And that is Jack Moore, who just thrown the cautious book out the window and absolutely sent it. Through goes the AMG. Is he going to do it again? I tell you what, balls of steel there from Jack Moore. He was not playing. And that's what can happen. As he goes drifting around Kerber Paul Frere, that has sent Ryan Matum off the track, but he's still in the race. And Steph Hans picking up the pieces here in Spa Francorchamps. Steph Hans, brilliant from the Porsche, and David has now got breathing space. So, Kieran White, up Eau Rouge. Gap to the leader, Dan Wibbly, 3 seconds off Noah. He's going to need something. He's going to need a miracle, but there is a long, long way to go. towards curve of Paul Frere. Here comes Kieran White on John McConville. He got the better exit. Now he's got to make it count. And the McLaren just holding off that Mustang driver. And number 18 of Kieran White will stay behind, and that is Robert McCoy. Then he's off the track. And Robert in that Corvette with another mistake, and down to P15 he goes. Jack Moore is back through. Ryan Matum. Here comes Steph Hans on David Silf. What about Ryan Matum as well? Is he going to filter his way through? David has come back. Through Blanchimont we go. It's a three-way fight in towards the bus stop chicane. As the sun sets, the Porsche goes smashing into the back of the Lamborghini. And the Ferrari driver of Ryan Matum is picking up the pieces. Around the outside and down towards the line we go. Ryan Matum is through. David is down to P12. Jack Moore also escapes through this traffic. And the Corvette of Robert McCoy going later on the brakes in towards La Source. The switch back from Jack Moore is not going to work. And Robert McCoy sending it once again and up to P13. But Ryan Matum coming out of that in P11. You've just got to take your chances. Here comes Kieran White. You will get some mistakes in towards Bouton. The McLaren shutting the door briefly. And the Mustang driver of Kieran White on John McConville, who runs wide, but then he just slams that door shut again. He's very good at picking and choosing where he puts that car, but later on the brakes goes Kieran White. Wow, that was beautifully executed from Kieran White, and John McConville didn't know anything about it. 1 minute he was behind, he blinked, and the next thing he's in front. Move. But yeah, you've just got to take your opportunities. Some of the drivers will fight and they will be maybe contact or anything like that, and you've just got to just filter through it, get away unscathed, stay out of any unnecessary dramas or unnecessary incidents. Race your race. You know there's going to be rain. Come in, and that is David off the track, and Robert McCoy with another overtake in that Corvette. Is the recovery drive on? An hour and 10 minutes of racing still to go. That was a real classy move there. So what about Kieran White? Oh, Kyle Cullen, that is next in his sights. Noah Burkhoff is still your race leader, doing a fabulous job at handling it. The AMG, Dan Wibley in P2, and then Mikhail Simek still in the podiums, but he's got TVRT just on his tail, down in towards Brussels. It won't be long until we get to a nighttime race. Here comes Jack Moore, up Eau Rouge. And David, once again, might have another fight on his hands, which he's had throughout the whole Grand Prix so far. And we know Jack Moore likes to send it. No longer go for a gap, you're no longer a racing driver, and Jack Moore lives or dies by that quote as we come in towards turn at 10. But the gap wasn't there this time. He's got to think about that damage to the front bumper of that Mercedes. As he just gives the Lamborghini driver a little bit to think about as he pushes him through turn 10, says get a move on, I'm here. Here comes Kieran White on the BMW M4 through Blanchimont and up towards the bus stop chicane. Into the right and left-hander. Who is going to get the better exit? Will it be Kieran White as he just taps Kyle Cullen up the backside as we come out of there? Here comes TVRT as well. He's just flashing Mikhail Simek. Maybe trying to tell him something. He is still flashing him. Maybe a game plan from the driver behind. Trying to put him off potentially. Trying to make him think about it. Get them flashes in the mirror of his car as he's going up Eau Rouge, and it might have worked because he did not take that cleanly at all. As he continues to flash him down the Kemmel straight. Here comes Kieran White on Kyle Cullen. Also Jack Moore on David into the bus stop chicane. And this might be the opportunity that Jack Moore has been waiting for had he not have lost the race. On Kyle Cullen, and they're all starting to give it a little bit of a flash now. Maybe it's their way of just putting the driver in front off their mark a little bit. Oh, he's gone! Kieran White is round. The Mustang driver maybe put himself off. He loses the rears. Kyle Domingo might even pick up a place if he gets a move on. But Kieran White has lost a tremendous amount of time. Here comes TVRT on Mikhail Simek, and he continues to flash him. Wow, as they go down towards Blanchimont. It is non-stop from the Lexus. As we go down towards around 45 miles per hour through the bus stop chicane. Back onto the throttle. Beautiful onboard. You can see there the headlights going on and off. 6 seconds Dan Wibbly behind Noah Burkhoff, but wait until the pit stops, wait until the rain, wait until the tyre wear, and this will change a lot of this race. So TVRT up Eau Rouge, down the Kemmel straight. You can see Kyle Cullen just in the distance. Closest battle on track other than Jack Moore. And Robert McCoy is the first driver to pit. As the sun begins to set in the mountains here in Belgium, it is Robert McCoy that is in the pit lane. What about David? No, he stays out for now. Right on board with the P4 driver, the number 87 of TVRT in the Lexus. I'm not sure if it stays like this who wins the championship. I just know that there's 3 drivers involved. I don't know what this situation would end up like. Second and a half behind Kyle Cullen as we come through the curb of Paul Frere. He just kicks up a little bit of dust there for Kieran White behind. We've got Mark Robinson, who's also in a Mustang, coming around curb of Paul Frere. And George Kay, 10 seconds behind. And then Ryan Matum in no man's land with Jack Moore and David Silf. Robert McCoy on his way out of the pit lane now with Carl Domingo in the pit garage. He is out, and so is Steph Haynes. So 27 minutes down, 1 hour and 3 minutes to go. So the drivers nicely spread out now, with TVRT just losing a little bit of time to Mikhail Simek in front. He continues to flash the driver in front. It's kind of humorous from the Lexus. At some point, Mikhail is probably going to look behind him with them flashing lights, and he probably will make a mistake at some point. If he doesn't, it's very good driving from the Ferrari driver. So the gaps, you've got John McConville around 1.1 seconds behind Kyle Cullen. Seven seconds is the gap from Noah Burkhoff to Dan Wibberley. Dan Wibberley, who started on pole position, has just not been able to keep up the pace to Noah Burkhoff in this race. So we know that the 666 car is now going to start to catch up to a little bit of traffic, and one of them traffic is Kyle Cullen in the BMW. So Noah Burkhoff, you can see him coming up Eau Rouge now. Sorry, no, that I do apologise, I'm completely wrong there. That is John McConville, who's just behind him. The gap only 4 attempts as we head in towards Les Combs. And as it gets darker and darker, 1 hour to go in this race. Still a very long way to go. So 4 attempts is the gap as you come through Puhon. The McLaren on the M4, and you can see the Mustang just in the distance as he runs a little bit wide over the apex towards turn 12. Through the right and left hander, he's getting ever so closer here. John McConville, he's waiting to pounce. Kyle Cullen can see him in his mirrors. He's all over the back of that rear wing. Here comes John McConville through curb and Paul Frere. Can he get the better exit? No, he can't. The gap drifting away to 5 tenths. So Kyle Cullen doing well to defend this. Also, you've got to think about the drivers going into the pit lane. Through Blanchimont. Still, the rain is not falling. It will come though. And I think some of the drivers are waiting for it. And that was a great exit from John McConville. This could be the moment that he's been waiting for, down in towards La Source at turn 1. But still, once again, great defending from Kyle Cullen. And as this is all going on, Kieran White is getting closer and closer with every single inch of this circuit that they tread through. Up Eau Rouge and down the Kemmel Straight once again. The gap drifting back to 4 tenths. Down the long straight here in Belgium. You can see the drivers in the distance in front and behind. As we now navigate through Les Combes, through the wooded area at the top of the hill. And then back down. The elevations are sublime here. And the nature reserves, incredible. The scenery, iconic. But the racing is magnificent. John McConville still on the back of Kyle Cullen, and here is Kieran White. He is there and thereabouts, 5 tenths for the Mustang of Kieran White. So it's a three-way battle again. As the night sets, the racing does not stop. TVRT just running onto the gravel. Kyle Cullen will be defending against not just one but 2 drivers from here on out, as that was Kieran White that was looking for a way through, a little shaky through Kerber Paul Fred, but he got the better exit. Now he's going to make the move on the McLaren, and the McLaren covers off the right hand side of the track as we go in towards Blanchimont. Now he'll have to short a route through for the Mustang, but is he better suited? The McLaren, he isn't. Through goes Kieran White, and now he is chasing down Kyle Cullen, who's got a bit of breathing room. He's been gifted a second from the 2 squabbling drivers, and that is John McConville that makes a mistake out of the bus stop chicane. As we now head in towards La Source, here comes TVRT continuing to flash Michael Simek in front. The Ferrari must be getting frustrated at this point as we come in towards Eau Rouge, up the hill and down the Kemmel Straight. And yet again, Michael Simek is just so good through that first sector. He is so clean and precise. He's clinical. And there's nothing TVRT can do through there. Kyle Cullen still 1.1 in front of Kieran White. John McConville starting to drop off a little bit. Is anybody going to go for an undercut here? What are the pit stops going to look like either? Mark Robinson, George Kay, then you've got Ryan Matum and Jack Moore in that Mercedes. David Silf, Cal Domingo is in the pit box. He is out of this race. 12 remain out of the 15 that started. Here comes TVRT again around Pujon. 55 minutes remain in this race. As we head in towards the left-hander. And then this is where you need to get a good entrance into the double right and out of Kerber Paul Frere. That is the exit that you need. And he's getting ever so closer. Is the Lexus. He does get the exit he was looking for, but is it going to be enough to bypass that Ferrari in front? Again, he flashes him. Again, he's trying to put the pressure on. As they go through Blanchimont, he just backs out, and the Ferrari is a little bit more gutsy out of there in towards the bus stop chicane. Nothing to separate these two. Kieran White has now tracked that gap down to 6 tenths to Kyle Cullen in P5. And as that's going on, John McConville is starting to bring himself back into this triple battle. Here comes TVRT in the Lexus. He is so close as we head in towards Eau Rouge. The Lexus, the Ferrari, who will come out in this podium position. Oh, and he takes a big chunk of the apex again, does Michael Simek. down the Kemmel straight, but once again defending with all of his might to keep that Lexus driver behind. Kieran White, the gap is 6 tenths. Kyle Cullen and Mikael Simek both putting on masterful defensive displays here in Spa Francorchamps. 8 seconds between Noah Burkhoff and Dan Whibley for the lead of this Grand Prix. Who will be crowned champion though at the end? So Kieran White, 4 tenths is the gap. Only a second behind. We've still got Mark Robinson in that Mustang in 8th position, and George Kay in P10. The Corvette driver. And then you've got Ryan Maton, who had some good battles of his own. He's in P10. And Jack Moore continuing to crack on in that AMG, and David Silf in the pit lane. Here comes Kieran White, 2 tenths. In towards the bus stop chicane we go. Each lap around 2.5 minutes long. 2.5 minutes of trying to overtake the driver in front. Lexus down the Kemmel straight again, but he just doesn't look like he's close enough. And Kieran White, he might be close enough if he can master Eau Rouge. He might just get the opportunity. But Kyle Cullen, once again consistent, but Kieran White did get a good exit. This is the opportunity he's been waiting for. Kieran White closes the gap. Here he comes up the inside as we head in towards Let's Comes. He's going to go later on the brakes, and Kieran White is through. Kyle Cullen finally moves down to P6 as Kieran White gets through. It was only a matter of time, but Kyle was doing a terrific job defending. But there's only so long you can defend a driver that is putting on that much pressure behind. Can TVRT do the same, or will Mikael Simek hold him off for even longer than Kyle Cullen did? What a sensational race. Here comes John McConville as well on Kyle Cullen, who's just starting to drift away from Kieran White now. 1.2 is the gap. Oh, TVRT dropped off by a second. Maybe he's wasted them tyres trying to go for that move. Kieran White, his tyres still in pretty good nick. Noah Burkhoff and Dan Whibley. So John McConville in that McLaren on the back of the BMW. Drivers are separated by quite significant gaps now. There's not much to report on. The drivers are doing a good job of just staying where they are, which isn't a bad thing. It means less action, it means more consistency for the drivers. over than John McConville and Kyle Cullen. TBRT and Michael Simmons. TBRT is falling behind a little bit more now. Maybe Michael Simek is starting to notch it up a gear. That's why he's fighting for a championship. The top three are the ones fighting for the championship, and they're 1, 2, 3 here in Belgium. That was a slight mistake there from the Ferrari driver, and look at this, TBRT is all over him. The pressure finally getting to him as we go down in towards Buchon. He's got to strike while the iron's hot now here, and he's not done so. Michael Simek showing why he's in a championship fight. He's got that championship mentality that he's able to just hold on even when he makes a mistake. Out of curb of Paul Frere and down towards Blanchimont we go in a second as we come into the first of the two right-handers. John McConville as well, still tracking Kyle Cullen. So through Blanchimont down towards the bus stop chicane. Some great racing here, there really is. So, David back out of the pit lane, Carl Domingo retiring, Jack Moore still going, Ryan Matum as well, currently in the top 10. So in towards Eau Rouge we go, and that's that signature move of flashing them headlights still continuing from the Lexus. As you come down the Kemmel Straight and in towards Les Combs, you can see Kieran White just in the distance behind, who's now built a gap of 2.7 seconds to Kyle Cullen, who's still holding off John McConville behind. Here comes TVRT and down in towards Purcell's at turn 10. He's looking up the inside. And they're both going to have to go into the pit lane shortly. Through the left-hander and down towards Buchon. He got the better exit here. Is this the opportunity that that TVRT has been waiting for? He's going to go at the inside of Buchon. Backs out. The Ferrari stays ahead. Positioning that Ferrari car so well through the left-hander. And MSC doing a great job with these drivers on the grid here in Le Mans Ultimate. And a big shout out to all of the sponsors here in MSC. So 2 tenths, here's the gap. Bit wide there, but he's able to stay in front. So they stay out for another lap. Will any of the drivers take the plunge into the pit lane? They do not. John McConville on the back of Kyle Cullen. Towards La Source they go. But we are still watching this fabulous battle between Michael Simek and TBRT Sojic. And you can see Kieran White in the distance behind, and not too far behind him you can see Kyle Cullen and John McConville. With 44 minutes of this race remaining, it is Noah Urkov who is driving one hell of a race here in Belgium for round 6 for the championship finale. He's 11 seconds clear of Dan Wibberley, who is just stuck in the middle of nowhere. He's in P2, 11 seconds behind the leader, 14 seconds in front of P3. And that P3 driver is the one defending his position to this Lexus in P4. In the McLaren, half a second behind Kyle Cullen. The gap 5 tenths, and TVRT has lost 1.1 seconds to Mikhail Simek in front, and they are going to go into the pit lane, and they both go in. So does Noah Burkhoff, so does Dan Wibberley. I think everybody's going to head in now. And who was that? That was Kyle Cullen, who goes in, and John McConville stays out for another lap. Wow. So getting them tyres back to where they want them. So John McConville will be your race leader. He'll like the sound of that, although it's only by default, but he will still like the words of being the race leader. And that is, who is that is coming out? Oh, it's the Ferrari driver. Noah Burkhoff is on his way out of the pit lane. Dan Wibberley also on his way out as he weaves and waves. Here comes Mikhail Simek. And I tell you what, I don't know how this has happened, but Mikhail Simek is going to come out around a second behind Dan Wibberley. Wow. And who is that that's coming through? I think that was a back marker, but Dan lost a lot of time in there, or Mikhail Simek gained a lot of time, because he's took around 10 seconds away from TVRT. Here comes Ryan Matum and Kieran White. So Mikhail Simek had a very short pit stop there compared to everybody else around him. Only 90% on them tyres though. Whereas in TVRT's on 100%, that could make a massive difference at the end of this Grand Prix. That is Ryan Matum that is through, but he's still got a pit at the end of this lap. So has John McConville. His tyres are on 2% as he comes through the double right-hander, and he's got to get to that pit stop ASAP. No hanging around now for John McConville. He is very close to the brink, and so is Ryan Matum, and he's quite far back. John McConville 1% as he comes through Blanchmont and down towards the bus stop chicane. So he is going to have fresher tyres come the end of this race, is John McConville. And he does make it into the pit lane. Ryan Matum is very much on the brink here. So John into the pit lane, could potentially go for a shorter stop here, John. What about Dan Wibberley on Mikhail Simek? Wow. How has this happened to Dan Wibberley? What does this do for the championship? This is unbelievable stuff. Dan Wibberley has lost track position to Mikhail Simek, and I can't quite believe what I'm seeing here. How has this even happened when TVRT is 20 seconds behind them? Ryan Matum is also going to get to the pit lane with just a 1% left on them tyres. Robinson right on the back of Kyle Cullen. Into the pit lane goes Ryan Mayton. Here comes Mark Robinson through Kerber Paul Frere. As you head towards Blanchimont now, the Mustang on the M4. Kyle Cullen has been involved in everything so far. So through La Source. And up Eau Rouge. And Kyle Cullen is so good through that sector one. Dan Woodley already 1.3 behind Mikhail Simek. So he starts to build a bit of a gap now, and Mark Robinson still half a second behind Kyle Cullen with 36 minutes to go. So 1.1 is the gap. Here comes Dan Wibberley. He is catching back up to Mikhail Simek. He's coming towards the double right-hander. Chasing him down here. Look how close Dan Wibberley is. He's looking for a way through. He's going to move to the outside line in towards the bus stop chicane. Oh, and he comes right over the apex to cut it back. And Dan Wibberley is really piling on the pressure now as he screws it out of the bus stop chicane and down the pit lane. towards La Source at turn 1. Here comes the Porsche around the outside of the Ferrari. Switches it back up the inside. What a move from Dan Wibberley. Wheel to wheel they go as they head up towards Eau Rouge. The Porsche with just his nose ahead. Who's going to back out? None of them. The Porsche just getting ahead as they go up Eau Rouge and down the Kemmel Straight. So Dan Wibberley now 8 attempts clear. Here comes Kyle Cullen and Mark Robinson. Mark Robinson did get through on Kyle Cullen. So whilst that was going on with Mikael Simek and Dan Wibberley, Mark Robinson got through on Kyle Cullen. The Mustang is now 2.2 clear. And I'm not sure what's happening in this race because since the pit stops it's really changed, and that is Kyle Cullen that's off the track. And once again into the gravel. Kyle is losing his head. 1 hour of driving and that's what happens. Still 30 minutes to go. And the lack of concentration is now kicking in for Kyle Cullen. George Kay is also in the pit lane. So is Kyle Domingo. Only 10 drivers remain. Maybe 9. No, Kyle Cullen carries on. So down in towards Les Pons. The grid is quite spread out now. There's nobody really close to each other. But we have seen a lot of action, so we can't be too greedy here. The drivers have kept us very entertained. So, the grid, and just a chance to say, if you are looking to join Le Mans Ultimate or get involved in any sort of racing, come and join MSC. It is the place to be with F1, Assetto Corsa, Le Mans Ultimate and iRacing. Anything and everything when it comes to sim racing, and a big shout out to all of our sponsors as well. And to the drivers, what an incredible job they've done this evening. A 90-minute race is such a long race. To keep that concentration, to make no mistakes, to sit in that chair or keep hold of that controller, and the consistency and sort of brain function that you need for that sort of length of time. I'm trying to think of the word that you would use, but you need a lot of it to continue to race for this long. So well done to all of the drivers. It does take a special sort of driver. So Ryan Matum's still going on. So is Kyle Cullen. No, Kyle Cullen's got no wheel. He's in the pit lane. That is it. Kyle Cullen is out. Ryan Matum will move up to P9. So, Another driver out here in Belgium. He's very unforgiving, this circuit. sorry, but I don't know how long that mic has been muted for. I do apologise. Oh my god, we've missed so much action. Oh, I'm fuming. So, TVRT only 2 seconds behind John McConville. His tyres are 12% fresher. He's going to catch up to him and potentially take this P4 away. And then watch out for Mikael Simek as well. His tyres, 22 minutes of this race remaining. It's been a cracking race here at MSC. Big shout out to the drivers and thank you for you guys for sticking with us and watching this race. These drivers have been incredible. And we've seen some awesome battles. I am really sorry. I do not know how long I've been muted for. I cannot believe that. I hope we've not missed so much action because I was screaming at some of these overtakes. So 1.5 is the gap now. TVRT chasing down John McConville. Here we go down the Kemmel Straight. And these tyres are definitely going to play a part. And the BMW driver, sorry, the Lexus driver on the back of the McLaren heading in towards Les Combs. On board with TVRT. And I tell you, it takes so much concentration from these drivers, especially when you've driven for an hour and 10 minutes already. The final 20 minutes will feel like the first 1 hour and 10 minutes to these drivers, especially them ones sat in a sim rig. Oh, their palms sweaty from holding that controller. And then one misjudgment, one lack of concentration, and it could all be over. Here comes TVRT. The gap is 7 tenths to John McConville, the McLaren driver, as we go through Pouhon. He's holding on to that P4, but that defensive John is going to have to come back in for the remainder of this race. Has he got enough in the tank to pull it off? We shall see. So McLaren versus Lexus as we come down in towards Kirby Paul Frere, and he's got so much more grip here. TVRT on the back of John McConville. We now proceed towards Blanchimont. Into the slipstream goes the Lexus driver, the number 87. Around the left-hander, and he just eases off the throttle there, TVRT, as we go in towards the bus stop chicane. Under the lights here in Spa Francorchamps. Later on the brakes goes TRT. Down the pit lane towards the checkered flag. A great tussle we are witnessing here. Up Eau Rouge. And down the Kemmel Straight. Look how close he is. He's practically pushing him through. TVRT is through, but back comes John McConville. Is he going to go later on the brakes? He's not. TVRT makes the move stick, and he's up to P4. And that is why you want the fresher tyres come the end of this race. No. Sorry, the kid's waiting for his computer back. So, John McConville, 2.5 seconds now behind TVRT. Kieran, 4.7 behind John McConville. Will he be able to catch him up? His tyres are 13% fresher. Kieran White potentially catch up to John McConville before the end of this race. He's down to 4 seconds now. He's caught up by 7/10. 15 minutes remaining. In towards the left-hander at Pouhon. But you have Noah Burkhoff still leading by 20 seconds. So, 2.6 is the gap from Kieran White to John McConville. He can see him now, he can smell him as he comes out of the bus stop chicane. 14.5 minutes. And I don't think Kieran White will need even a third of that before he's ready to go for that overtake. TVRT is 10 seconds away from Mikhail Simek, but look at the tyre difference. This is going to be close, you know, it really is. Could TVRT potentially get a podium? I think so. So here we go. 1.5 for Kieran White to John McConville in that McLaren. The Mustang driver flashing him, letting him know he's coming with a vengeance, letting him know that he's going to be with him in a brief short time. Kyle Cullen has actually carried on after getting his car fixed. I respect that a lot, and that's what we do here at MSC. So here we go, Kieran White, the gap now a second as we come through the double left at Brussels and down towards the corner with no name. Pouhon will be next in line for these two drivers. The McLaren leads the Mustang in P5 and P6 around 2:11 at Pouhon. Kieran White is all over him like a rash. John McConville has got to put that super sensitive fending back in now. Here he comes, the Mustang around the outside. He's not able to get through. Down towards Kerber Paul Frere. Will this be it? He will get the better exit on them tyres. Out of Kerber Paul Frere. We now head towards Blanchemont. Through Blanchemont and towards the bus stop chicane. Through the bus stop chicane we go. And that That is good defending from John McConville. And Kieran White went a little later on the brakes, potentially going to get the move done. A little slip and a slide from the McLaren as he come out of La Source as we head down in towards Eau Rouge. And back up the hill we go. John is doing a great job here with 10 minutes to go. Down the Kemmel Straight, into the slipstream goes Kieran White, looking for a way through. Now in towards Les Combs, and for another lap, it looks like John McConville is safe. So into Brussels. It's the McLaren in P5, up the inside goes Kieran White out of nowhere. That was a brilliant move. John did not expect that one, and the McLaren caught lacking through Brussels, and the Mustang with a fantastic executing move up the inside. It is textbook stuff from Kieran White here. 18 seconds is the gap from Dan Wibberley to Noah Burkov. TVRT only 9 seconds behind Mikhail Simek with 10 minutes to go. Is it possible? Who knows? So the gap still 9.1, so Mikhail Simek doing well to sort of stay with that distance. He is still catching up though. 8.4 now is the gap. John McConville only 1.2 behind Kieran White, so he's sticking with him for a brief period. Just under 9 minutes remaining in this race. TVRT, 8 seconds to go. If he can start to make up around a second a lap, he will be on for a podium right at the end of this Grand Prix. And look at the tyres. Mikhail Simek, 25%. TVRT, you know what, I'll call him Sodjik. Sodjik is 8 seconds behind, but he's on 35% tyres. Noah Burkov has been incredible. I don't know what's going on with the championship. JK, I think, might have fell asleep. I can't find the standings anywhere on Discord, so I can't believe he's the champion. So I do apologise. Yeah, I cannot find the standings anywhere on the Discord. I don't know if I even have access to it. So the gap, 8.1. Mikhail Simek is doing what he needs to do to return the favour and stay in position. He's done a great job here, Mikhail Simek, to sort of notch it up a little bit. The race is now flat, the gaps are now dead, but the racing has been phenomenal for an hour and 23 minutes that we have witnessed this. It's a shame that we didn't get the overlays working, something to do with Le Mans at the moment. Oh, they're on. You are kidding me, they just came on now. I cannot believe that, I am fuming. But then it's going to catch the screen. So how do you just catch the broadcast? So it's only just started working now. What annoying. How annoying is that? Oh, it's browser source, isn't it? And then you grab that thing there and put it in browser source, isn't it? There we go. How annoying. So, as we can see the gaps between the drivers, TVRT only 6 seconds behind Michael Simek. Who knows? Who knows? The overlays are well better though, aren't they? Since the update. You can see the grid progress as well of the drivers. But I want to say thank you to all of you for sticking with us. You can see that Noah Burkhoff made up 3 places in this race and has led. And the gap now 5 seconds. I don't think he's going to catch him with 3.5 minutes to go. A real shame, but a great result for Michael Simek. The drivers that were bidding for the World Championship are going to finish 1, 2, 3 in the final race of the season. How it should be, I suppose. We are still riding on board with TVRT to see what he can do. Is there anything that he can throw up before the end of the race? Remember, his tyres are a lot fresher. There is still potential, but he's running out of time. He is really running out of time. So all of the grid nicely spread out, and just want to say a big thank you to MSC, a big thank you to the drivers, and a big thank you to you guys if you want to be a part of it. Come and join MSC for the next Le Mans Ultimate race, the next series. This was the final. And what a final it was. Some great racing throughout. what we wanted to see, and it absolutely delivered. So, just going on board with Noah Burkhoff for a second, just because I feel like he deserves some recognition here. Noah Burkhoff with an exceptional race here. It has been absolutely phenomenal. He's 17 seconds clear of Dan Wibberley. He's coming through the bus stop chicane, and this will be the final lap for Noah Burkhoff. He needs to make no mistake. He needs to get to the checkered flag, and that will be it. Noah Burkhoff with an incredible performance here in Spa Francorchamps in Belgium, round 6 here in MSC for our Le Mans Ultimate Series. It finally delivered. And the racing, TVRT only 3 seconds behind, but it's on the very last lap, and unless Mikhail Simek makes a mistake, it is just not going to happen. But it's the 666 car of Noah Burkhoff that comes in towards Brussels at turn 10, and then into the corner with No Name. We ride on board with the race leader. A sensational race from start to finish. He made up 3 places off the start line. And my goodness, did he not make it count when he got into the lead. He took the race by storm. Dan Wibberley, who started on pole position, in P2. And Mikhail Simek in P3. So in towards Kerber Paul Frere for Noah Burkhoff. As we head down towards Blanchimont. It is the Mercedes AMG driver. So Noah Burkhoff into the bus stop chicane and out again, and here he comes to the checkered flag. Noah Burkhoff wins the championship finale here in Belgium. What a race, what a result, what a Grand Prix. Noah Burkhoff, take a bow. That was sensational. Dan Wibberley from pole position will take P2. The Porsche driver on the top steps. That another great result for Dan Wibberley. Mikhail Simek coming through Blanchimont. He's going to be on the podium, 2.8 clear of TVRT KO, who spent a lot longer in the pit lane, maybe robbed of an opportunity, but still a phenomenal drive from Mikhail Simek, who is going to come through to take a podium in the finale here in Belgium. Michael Simek to the line. Through comes Sojic in P4. Then Kieran White is going to take a P5 as he just does a few little donuts there coming out of the bus stop chicane. John McConville will come through in the McLaren to take P6. What a drive for these drivers. Mark Robinson is going to take P7, and that is it. There you have it. Well done to the drivers. Thank you all so much for watching. Well done to MSC. What a drive. What a result. There we have it. Noah Burkhoff wins in Belgium. Dan Wibberley takes P2. And Mikhail Simek taking a podium in P3. So there you have it, guys. We will be back next season for Series 2. I appreciate you all tuning in. Thank you so much. It was a long one, but a great one. Well done to the drivers for being persistent with it and sticking with it. Well done to MSC. Thank you to MSC as well. I hope you all have a great week and a great weekend. Enjoy the break, and we'll see you back here for Series 2. Take care, everybody.
We're not indestructible. Baby, better get that straight. I think it's on.